Are you the new poor? 12 modern traps holding you back. We live in a time where people look rich on Instagram but feel broke in real life. They post luxury vacations, designer coffee, and the latest gadgets. But behind the filters, they're drowning in debt, living paycheck to paycheck, and constantly anxious about money. If that reality feels uncomfortably familiar, this article is for you. The new poor don't always look poor. They live in trendy apartments, wear stylish clothes, and stay up to date with the latest trends. But beneath the surface, they're financially fragile, struggling to keep up with rising costs, poor spending habits, and an economy that's working against them. It's time to pull back the curtain and expose the 12 modern traps keeping people financially stuck. More importantly, it's time to learn how to break free before it's too late. 1. You're always chasing instant gratification. Picture this. It's been a long day, you're feeling stressed, and instead of dealing with the discomfort, you reach for instant relief. Maybe it's scrolling through an online store and adding a few things to your cart. Maybe it's ordering that overpriced food delivery even though you have groceries at home. Or perhaps you binge watch Netflix for hours, convincing yourself that you deserve a break. In that moment, it feels justified. But once the excitement fades, you're left with a little less money and the same problems you were trying to escape. The truth. Small pleasures aren't bad on their own, but when they become your default coping mechanism, they turn into a financial trap. Impulse spending, excessive streaming, and food delivery aren't just conveniences. They're symptoms of a bigger issue. The cycle looks like this. You feel stressed or bored. You spend money or waste time to feel better. You experience momentary relief, but the core issue remains. You repeat the habit and your finances take the hit. Over time, these seemingly harmless behaviors trap you in a paycheck-to-paycheck lifestyle, keeping you broke, anxious, and financially stagnant. What to do? Break the cycle. Take 10 minutes today to review your last month's expenses. Go through every purchase and highlight the ones that weren't necessary, the ones you regret. Be brutally honest with yourself. How much money did you waste on impulse purchases? Food delivery? Streaming services? Now set a small goal to change. Maybe you decide to delete a shopping app, set a weekly budget for non-essentials, or meal prep instead of ordering in. It doesn't have to be extreme, just start somewhere. What's your biggest impulse spending weakness? Be honest, comment below. And what's one thing you could cut back on this month? 2. Spending too much on self-care you don't actually use. Let's be honest. How many face masks, scented candles, or luxury skincare products have you bought but barely used? Maybe you subscribed to a yoga app but only logged in once, or signed up for an expensive gym membership you rarely attend. Self-care should help you, not stress you out with financial guilt. The truth. The wellness industry thrives on selling you relaxation, not actually helping you achieve it. Many people mistake buying self-care for practicing self-care. The cycle looks like this. You feel tired, stressed, or overwhelmed. You buy something that promises to make you feel better. The relief is temporary and soon you're back to square one. Meanwhile, your bank account takes a hit, and so does your mental peace. At the end of the day, a face mask won't fix burnout, and a fancy candle won't erase financial stress. What to do? Simplify your self-care. Real self-care is about nurturing yourself, not your shopping cart. Instead of splurging on unnecessary products, try taking a walk and getting fresh air, drinking more water and taking care of your body, journaling to clear your mind, meditation or deep breathing, completely free but incredibly effective. The best self-care is free, sustainable, and actually makes a difference. What's the most unnecessary self-care splurge you've ever made? Let's laugh about it in the comments. 3. You have no emergency fund. The reality check, imagine this. Your car suddenly breaks down. You need $500 to fix it, but when you check your bank account, there's only $200. What do? Put it on a credit card? Borrow money? Delay the repair and risk bigger problems? This is why an emergency fund isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. Did you know? More than 50% of millennials have less than $1,000 in savings. 40% of Americans wouldn't be able to cover a $400 emergency without going into debt. The average unexpected expense, like medical bills or home repairs, ranges from $500 to $2,500, far more than most people have saved. The trap. Without savings, every unexpected expense forces you into financial survival mode, relying on credit, loans, or cutting essential costs. This creates a dangerous cycle where debt grows, stress increases, and financial freedom feels impossible. What to do? 1. Start small, but start now. Even $10 a week adds up over time. Set an automatic transfer to a separate savings account. 2. Name your fund. Studies show people save more when their savings account has a clear label, like emergency fund, instead of just savings. 3. Cut one unnecessary expense. Swap one delivery order for a home-cooked meal. Skip one streaming service. Redirect that money into savings. 4. Set a realistic goal. Aim for at least 1 month's worth of expenses saved, then build up to 3 to 6 months. How much do you think you could realistically save each month? Drop your goal below. 4. You're stuck in a job, not building a career. The reality check. Does your job pay the bills, but leave you feeling uninspired, unmotivated, and stuck? Many people fall into this trap, settling for a paycheck instead of actively building a career. The difference? A job is what you do to survive. A career is what you build to thrive. The trap. Many people avoid career growth because it feels too overwhelming. They tell themselves, I'm too old to start over. I don't have the time to learn new skills. I'm comfortable where I am, even if I don't love it. But staying in the same place for years without progress is one of the biggest financial risks. Jobs can be lost. Careers give you security. What to do? 1. Identify a skill you'd love to learn. It doesn't have to be a complete career change, just one skill that makes you more valuable in your field. 2. Start small. Take a free online course, read industry blogs, or ask someone experienced for advice. 3. Network and seek mentorship. Surround yourself with people who are where you want to be. A single conversation can open doors. Look for growth opportunities in your current role. Before quitting, see if you can negotiate a raise, transition into a better role, or take on projects that build your resume. What's one skill or career move you've been thinking about but haven't acted on yet? Let's talk about it in the comments. 5. You avoid talking about money. The reality check. Do you ever feel uncomfortable when the topic of money comes up? Do you avoid checking your bank balance because you're afraid of what you'll see? Maybe you ignore debt collectors, delay opening bills, or feel anxious even thinking about financial planning. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. Many people avoid financial conversations because money feels overwhelming, stressful, or even shameful. But here's the hard truth. Ignoring your finances won't fix them. It only makes things worse. The trap. You never track your spending, so you don't realize where your money is actually going. You don't budget because it feels restrictive, yet you wonder why you're always broke. You put off paying off debt, allowing interest to grow, and making your situation worse. You think financial planning is only for the wealthy, so you never take control of your own future. Over time, this leads to financial chaos, anxiety, and a never-ending cycle of paycheck-to-paycheck living. The longer you avoid money conversations, the harder it becomes to fix your situation. What to do? 1. Face it head-on. Set aside 15 minutes this week to review your finances. Start with small actions. Check your bank balance, list your debts, or write down your income versus expenses. Create a simple budget. This isn't about depriving yourself. It's about knowing where your money's going so you can make smarter choices. 3. Talk about it. Find someone you trust, a friend, partner, or a financial coach, and start an honest conversation about money. The more you normalize these discussions, the easier they become. 4. Make a plan. Set one small, achievable financial goal, like saving $50 this month. paying down a small debt, or cutting back on one unnecessary expense. What's one financial task you've been avoiding? Comment below, and let's tackle it together. 5. You avoid talking about money. The reality check. Do you ever feel uncomfortable when the topic of money comes up? Do you avoid checking your bank balance because you're afraid of what you'll see? Maybe you ignore debt collectors, delay opening bills, or feel anxious even thinking about financial planning. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. Many people avoid financial conversations because money feels overwhelming, stressful, or even shameful. But here's the hard truth. Ignoring your finances won't fix them. It only makes things worse. The trap. You never track your spending, so you don't realize where your money is actually going. You don't budget because it feels restrictive, yet you wonder why you're always broke. You put off paying off debt, allowing interest to grow and making your situation worse. You think financial planning is only for the wealthy, so you never take control of your own future. Over time, this leads to financial chaos, anxiety, and a never-ending cycle of paycheck to paycheck living. The longer you avoid money conversations, the harder it becomes to fix your situation. What to do? 1. Face it. Head on. Set aside 15 minutes this week to review your finances. Start with small actions. Check your bank balance, list your debts, or write down your income versus expenses. Create a simple budget. This isn't about depriving yourself. It's about knowing where your money is going so you can make smarter choices. 3. Talk about it. Find someone you trust, a friend, partner, or financial coach, and start an honest conversation about money. The more you normalize these discussions, the easier they become. 4. Make a plan. Set one small, achievable financial goal, like saving $50 this month, paying down a small debt, or cutting back on one unnecessary expense. What's one financial task you've been avoiding? Comment below, and let's tackle it together. 6. Spending money to impress others. The reality check. Are you buying the latest phone, wearing designer clothes, or dining at expensive restaurants just to impress others? If so, you're not alone. Many people spend money not because they need to, but because they want to appear successful. But here's the problem. Trying to look rich often keeps you poor. The trap. You upgrade your phone every year, even though your current one works fine. You spend money on luxury brands, even though they don't actually improve your quality of life. You eat at fancy restaurants, not because you love the food, but because it looks good on social media. At the end of the day, you're spending to impress people who don't even notice or care. What to do? 1. Ask yourself, am I doing this for me or for them? Be honest. Are you making purchases that bring real value, or are they just for show? 2. Redefine what wealth means to you. True wealth isn't about flashy purchases. It's about financial freedom, security, and living life on your own terms. 3. Stop comparing yourself. Social media creates unrealistic expectations. Focus on your financial journey, not someone else's highlight reel. 4. Spend on what truly makes you happy. If something genuinely brings joy or adds value, go for it. But if it's just for status, reconsider. What's one purchase you made just to show off and later regretted? No judgment, we've all been there. Share your story in the comments. Tour 7. You rely on buy now, pay later schemes. The reality check, buy now, pay later, BNPL schemes promise convenience, but often lead to financial traps. At first, spreading out payments seems like a smart way to afford things. But here's what they don't tell you. The trap. You end up buying things you wouldn't normally afford just because it's available in installments. Hidden fees and high interest rates can make your purchase 20 to 30% more expensive in the long run. You accumulate multiple installment payments at once, creating a financial burden that's hard to track. What if the gadget you're financing today becomes the reason you can't afford an emergency tomorrow? What to do? 1. Delay purchases until you can pay in full. If you can't buy it outright, ask yourself if you truly need it now or if it can wait. 2. Avoid unnecessary BNPL offers. Just because something is available in installments doesn't mean you should buy it. 3. Track your BNPL commitments. If you already have BNPL payments, create a list of all outstanding balances and ensure they fit within your monthly budget. 4. Use BNPL only for essential, planned expenses. If you must use it, make sure it's for something truly necessary, not just impulse purchases. Have you ever used BNPL and later regretted it? Share your experience in the comments.